In today's Leeds news, Chris Moore move off for now, Leeds interest in Godfrey, Ben Davies update, Leo Hjlede loan exit, and details on David Brooks' situation. Morning folks, Cher here on Monday 22nd of January with your Leeds United news after another win for Leeds, 4 on the bounce, 3 in the league. Good to see Leeds moving forward. Not the best performance in the world, but 3 points against a side that maybe earlier in the season we don't get past that performance. So it's good to see some movement there, and a decent performance by some very, very interesting players in the game as well. Hjlede Groove had a fantastic game. Thought he was excellent, absolutely excellent. Joe Rodon as well, and again Dan James, what a game he had. We'll move on, we'll crack on, we'll make this short and sweet. We'll get in and get out. There's no major news happening. It's going to go down to the end of the window before Leeds seem to be making any kind of moves, but there's some stuff lining up. We'll start off with a move that may be off, and we'll start off with Chris Moore. Earlier on this month we gave you detail that Chris Moore had been heading off to Dubai to link up with Hibernian in their warm weather training camp during their winter break. News has now come out over the weekend that Chris Moore will return to Leeds United now, and we'll see what happens in the future. Hibernian manager Nick Montgomery described Moore by saying it's been fantastic, it's a really good opportunity for him. He went on then to say that he'll go back to Leeds, and then they said we will look at the situation and we will discuss to see if he can help going forward. So the move isn't off for now, but for right now Moore comes back, Leeds will assess, so will Hibs, and then there might be some movement again before the end of the window. In terms of incomings, the defender situation continues to pop up with new names, and today, according to reports in Calcio Mercato, they are saying that Leeds United and Sheffield United are both interested in a move for Everton defender Ben Godfrey. The 26-year-old has had little to no game time this season for Everton, finds himself down the pecking order. He joined Everton from Norwich back in 2020 for £25 million and really hasn't got much of a sniff. He's only had 80 appearances in his total time there as well. Daniel Farke will know Ben Godfrey very well from his time at Norwich as well, and could be a player that he likes the style of and could bring in. The move that he made to Everton for the amount of money he went with, you would have expected more from him, but by now Everton have had a lot of problems, a lot of managers swapping over, people coming in, so you can put it down to that as well. Maybe not suiting the styles. Daniel Farke knows him quite well, and maybe he's the kind of player Daniel Farke would like to have in the group and add to his defensive capabilities moving into the second half of the season. Ben Davies popped up. Next story. Ben Davies has been popping up an awful lot, and there are some updates now. According to Ben Jacobs, he has said in Give Me Sport that Lee's interest in the player is serious. Davies can play anywhere pretty much, the back, fullback or centre back positions, and Jacobs told Give Me Sport, I think Leeds are keeping an eye across Ben Davies because if Tottenham make some changes, he might well become available. Jacobs went on to say that Davies, Connor Roberts and Ben Johnson are the 3 specific players that Leeds are keeping a very close eye on and are hopeful to move for those players before the window closes. Probably 2 of the 3 will be needed. Leeds are expected to make a move for players, but it is looking increasingly likely that Leeds are willing to wait until the very end of the window to try and get any deals that they feel that they can get across the line done by then. You would hope that the recent pick-up in form doesn't fool people into thinking that we don't still need reinforcements even off the bench, because not everyone on the bench is getting used. The same players, is a stronger bench needed as well, and more options in the fullback areas, because there will be injuries to Firpo and there will be injuries to Byram. Firpo had a very, very, very good game going forward. Again, he leaves space at the back. It's the defending conversation around Junior Firpo. As a wing back, he'd be great, but as a fullback, he does leave you open a little bit defensively, but he was very good yesterday going forward. And given that Leeds will have to do the bulk of the attacking in the remaining games this season, maybe they're okay there and they just need some backup there to cover that situation, so we'll have to wait and see. On the left back situation, we might have one less coming out of the window as well. According to the Yorkshire Evening Post, Leo Hjelde will be available to move away on loan in this window. Hjelde has been described as being miles away from the first team picture and looks like he will move out on loan after having a pretty decent loan last year at Rotherham, although the back end of the season he lost a bit of favour, but he did start the season very well there. He did come into the Leeds team at the start of this season, but taken off at half time. I think 2 of the 3 games he started with, and Daniel Farke has clearly decided he's not the player for him right now, so he moved down the pecking order quite a bit, and it is expected that he will move away in this window. However, the Yorkshire Evening Post do state on this that there's no exact club mentioned as to where he will go, just that the player is available and may move in the window. And then, as I said, this will be a short one. The final one today is around David Brooks' situation, and the player that's been linked with Leeds quite a lot over the last few weeks. And speaking to the Square Ball podcast, Hjlede has said that he believes, having heard from many people around the player, that David Brooks will become available towards the end of the window. He said, and Donny Areola, who pretty much hasn't ruled out a move away after the QPR game for David Brooks, has left the door open about the player's future. And Hjlede moves on to say that Brooks will become available, but it will be very late in the window if and when he does, and it will be something Leeds will want to move very quickly on should they want him. There will be other interested parties in Brooks. He is down the pecking order. He is behind Leeds loanee Sinisterra as well for position in that team as well. There are a couple of players above him as well. You'll have other players come back in for bench situations. Tyler Adams come back from injury for them as well, come back into the squad as well. David Brooks' position there doesn't look great, but he is a very, very good player, and he was before he was ill. It'd be great to see him come back to that form, and great to see him come back to that form for an option for Leeds as well. How much minutes he'll get is the question, but then all these players are coming in, they will know that they're not going to come straight into the team. They'll have to bide their time and wait for their opportunities, like players like Hjlede did have to wait, and when they did, take your opportunity and you're fine. Folks, that's going to be it for me today. It's a very short one, but there's nothing happening, so I'll see you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Have a great day. Talk to you then. See you. Bye.